We are just 2 matches away from potentially being in the proper Europa League this season. Last season, obviously, it was the Europa Conference League, and we did pretty good in that. If we can get into the Europa League proper, I think we can do pretty good in this one as well. We do need to get past Dynamo Kiev, which is not going to be easy. In between episodes, we've not really done a lot. We've played 1 match in the league. We've won it. Bartol Barisic with a goal in the 88th minute. We are currently top of the Superliga at the moment. 13 points out of a possible 15, I believe. Copenhagen also on 13 points. Randers on 12. There's 3 teams in this fight early on. We were also going to be playing Midtjylland in this episode, but I won't be showing that on camera. It's going to be the double header against Dynamo Kiev. Let's go straight into it. The starting lineup then for the away leg in Ukraine. It's going to be Hindrich in goal, Mossen, Leffer, Gordon, Darlin and Pelamati in defence, Schulman, Colorado and Babu in midfield, Pete, Preda and Barisic leading the lines. The subs bench, we've got no goalkeeper. Our one sub goalkeeper is currently out injured, which is marked out. Not ideal. They recommended playing this man on the subs bench. He's useless. He's one of those grey players, so of course we're not going to play him. I have no idea whether we should be winning this game or not. I feel like we should. I feel like we should be good enough to be able to beat Dynamo Kiev. I imagine they are probably the best or second best team in Ukraine. So they're going to be good, but we're also very good. Like we've seen for the past, 6 seasons, we are the second best team in Denmark. So we should be good enough to beat, in theory, the second best team in Ukraine. Darlin's going to pick this ball up, 15 seconds on the clock. It's a bit concerning that there is an early highlight. Hjulmand to Leffer Gordon. The South African finds the Egyptian. Back to Leffer Gordon. We've got a very young side. And then we've got a couple of ageing players, shall we say. Not necessarily old, just ageing. Darlin collects it. Pelamati down that left-hand side. The fullback goes back to Darlin. Now Babu forward finds Preda. Preda, even he's going to go for a run across to the right-hand side. Invites Mossen forward. He's going to go for a long ball towards Barisic. He's put the ball away. It's not going to count. He was about 4 or 5 yards off. We're getting VAR. I mean, he was definitely offside. Goal was disallowed. How far offside was he? I think it was a long way. Motten then with the cross. Where is he going to be? Yeah, he's miles away. Absolutely miles away. Why do we need VAR? We've got a corner. Pete's gone over to take it. Gordon's at the front. In fact, it's Darlin at the front post. 3 minutes on the clock. We take the lead. And that's just reminded me, I don't think we set up our corners. We didn't, although it kind of worked. I mean, that's fine. That'll do. Another corner, Pete, this time from the opposite corner. It is cleared. Babu's going to hopefully keep this one alive and does so. Plenty of numbers still in the middle. Pelamati finds nobody in the middle and it's cleared. We're going to get there first. Schulman's been tackled by Saigankov. Mossen's gone all the way back to Hindrich. Darlin, the goal scorer, forward to Babu, back to Darlin. Pelamati was making a run. Does eventually find Pelamati. Now Babu, ball off towards the right-hand side. Mossen collects it. Mossen gets involved in a lot, doesn't he? Even as a right-back, he gets the ball a hell of a lot. Pete's collected this. Mossen could do with it. Pete's going to try and go it alone. Finds Barisic. Good save from the keeper. And obviously that leads to another corner. Pete's gone over to take it. It is Leffer Gordon at the front. I think it was towards Darlin in the end. And it's going to get cleared. Another corner. Pete, he's got Darlin, he's got Leffer. He doesn't find either one of them. And Dynamo Kiev can possibly counter-attack, maybe? It's with... What's going on? I don't know what's going on with this highlight. About 3 players miskicked the ball then, didn't they? Leffer Gordon to Darlin. Pelamati on the left-hand side. Still only 20 minutes played. Keeping hold of the ball just about as well. Down that line. Into Preda. Ball over the top towards Barisic. Goes for a second time effort. Hits the bar, I think, and goes over. Saigankov with a free kick. It's cleared. Pete's going to try and close it down. Not going to get there, though. 25th minute. First real chance possibly for Dynamo Kiev. Or maybe the free kick was the chance. It is fallen to Vitinho. He's rattled the bar. It goes over. It is going to be a goal kick. Mossen with a throw for us. That confused me because the camera had flipped round. Mossen finds Pete. Doesn't manage to control the ball particularly well, though. And now Saigankov can break for Dynamo Kiev. He's got no support. Absolutely no support up there whatsoever. Goes backwards. Verbanyi across, finds Litovchenko. Could have been his name. Not sure what I'm trying to pronounce him, to be honest. Pelamati to Babs. Babs. Why have I just shortened his name to Babs? Saigankov's in on goal here. It's going to be 1-1. He's hit the bar. And Darlin's cleared it. What is going on? We've got Pete and Babs now. Is that what we're going to go for? Pete is taking this corner as well. Towards Darlin at the front. It's cleared. The counter-attack is a bit concerning. Because every time we have a corner and we don't get on the end of it, there's a counter-attack. Pelamati with it on the left. 10 minutes of the first half still to play. Down the line goes the Italian. He's got 2 in the middle. Not really a huge amount of options to aim for. And Kuzyk can play it in the middle for Kiev. Vitinho backwards to the central defenders. And they look like they're just going to pass it around for a little bit. And I think the highlight might even end. Maybe not. We've got the ball through Pete on the right-hand side. 4 in the box. Mossen's behind him if he wants to use it. Mossen just gets the ball anyway. Colorado comes in. His shot is blocked. It's gone off for a throw. Well, from what seemed to be quite an eventful first half of football, there is obviously only the one goal to show for it after just 3 minutes from the corner. We're doing well. I think we're doing well. If we can get a second or a third, I'll be happy. I do hate second legs of European football. If you're new here, you probably want to go back and watch the last season of second legs of European football because it's normally where we throw things away. Cross comes in. Hjulman's going to hopefully get there first. Doesn't manage it. Preda to Pelamati down the line. Poor touch from Pelamati. Somehow manages to win the ball back. It's cleared. And it does look like actually, they definitely are. They are breaking down that left-hand side. Bunyamin could be his name. Might not have been his name. Cross comes in. Back post. And Darlan's put that in the back of the net. He scored one at each end. Right, we need to get back into this game. I say we've started the second half not particularly well. In fact, Dynamo Kiev just have had a chance and managed to take it. And by managed to take it, we put it in the back of the net for them. Preda with it, 64 minutes. We've done no subs just yet. And I'm looking at Pelamati coming off. I'm looking at Darlan coming off as well because he's struggling. Babu and possibly Pete. So we might do 4 subs in a moment. Colorado with it on the right. Back to Mossen. Crosses it in towards nobody at the back post. Preda collects it. The Romanian. He's got a runner in Pelamati with acres of space. And he's hit the first man. Preda's cross comes in. Colorado's there. The flag has stayed down. I feel like this is going to count. I don't know why, but my brain is telling me that this is VAR. It's not. It's not going to VAR, is it? It's just gonna happen. So it is 2-1. We're going to do a bunch of changes. Gercic is going to come on. We're going to do Darlan for Ekwala, who I'm on the fence with Ekwala. I feel like he could be good, but I also feel like he isn't good. We're going to do Pete coming off for Jack Leonard, I think. And I'm also looking at Carniero coming on for Colorado, which is probably not a good idea. He's just scored. We're going to do it anyway. So 4 changes made with 20 minutes left to play. We should be good enough to see this one out. Although Leffer Gordon, I'm not really sure why I brought off Darlan. Darlan was playing well, although he did score an own goal, technically. Leffer Gordon is the one struggling, but we'll just see the clock out. With literally no more highlights. Okay, so it was a 2-1 win. Arguably, looking at the stats, we probably should have won by more? Question mark, maybe? A few more days have passed, and we've just played the FC Midtjylland game, a 3-2 win, thanks to Bartol Barisic with 2, Babu as well on the score sheet. But even bigger was Randers playing Copenhagen. Randers winning, which means Copenhagen now have a defeat to their name, and it means we are now 1 point clear at the top of the table. It's not ideal that it was Randers. It would have been better if it was like AAB or Vela or Viborg or someone down the wrong end of the table. But still, Copenhagen have dropped some points. Still very, very early days. I have just seen as well, Mamadou Gay, a player who we had for quite a while and then sold to Lyngby, has just scored a hat-trick for them. Whoa. Something that I've been trying to do since the start of the save was buy the stadium. And I just randomly went, you know what, let's ask the board. Let's see if they're going to go for it. I've also asked them to expand it. They've agreed to buy the stadium. That's massive. I say massive. It's not massive. It costs us, how do we find this out? Facilities. About £250,000 a year, which isn't a huge amount of money in the grand scheme of things, but it's still money that it is costing us to just rent the building. And if we own it, I believe we could then expand it. Although I feel like we're allowed to expand it anyway, because nobody else wants it. I don't quite understand. But yeah, that's kind of big news. We are hopefully going to have ourselves a brand new stadium. I say brand new, an existing stadium that we actually own come the end of this season. Back into Europe then for the second leg against Dynamo Kiev. 2-1 obviously after the first leg. The starting lineup is exactly the same, bar one change, which is that Leonard has come in for Preda, and Pete and Leonard have swapped sides. Basically, we've dropped Preda, we brought in Leonard, mainly because Preda is a little bit tired. Obviously, ignore Darlan. Darlan's always tired. I don't want to jinx it, but I'm going to jinx it, aren't I, by saying this. All we need to do is not lose. If we win or draw, we are into the Europa League proper. If we lose, then chances are we're getting knocked out. And as I mentioned earlier, we don't normally do particularly well in second legs. Jack Leonard's corner towards the front post. It's Darlan's headed effort, hits the top of the bar, goes over 7.5 minutes. We've had the first chance, but it was not good enough. Leonard's corner this time finds Gordon, I think, at the front post. It's come back towards Darland. Leonard's going to try and keep that one alive. Can't manage it. Pete's collected. Colorado lumps it forward. Barisic is there. Goalkeeper comes out, claims that one. I don't think there's been a highlight just yet, has there? Kick over the halfway line. We've got the ball through Babu, though. Pelamati to Pete on the left. Back to Pelamati. All the way back to Darlan. Leffer Gordon's got loads of space behind him if he wants to use them. Does use the young South African. Gordon to Colorado. Through ball finds Jack Leonard. The check. He's gone for goal. He's taken a wicked deflection, I think. The goalkeeper can easily hold on to that one. It does confuse me that we got a Czech and English right winger / right back called Jack. It's just a bit odd, isn't it? Well, match stats-wise, we are all over them when it comes to possession. They've yet to have a single shot as well. We're looking good. That's not ideal. It does mean Denton Barnabas is coming on, because that's the rules. If we get an injury to Barisic, or Barisic needs to come off for whatever reason, Denton's coming on. I don't know whether that's like a bad injury. I don't. Is there a way to tell if it's a bad injury? I just kind of immediately went, he's injured, let's bring him off the pitch. Half time it is 0-0. It's been uneventful, apart from that Barisic injury. We're going to say keep going, whatever, sure, do stuff, do a football. We are just getting so many shots away and seeing literally no highlights at all. Free kick for Pete, who's also picked up an injury. Babu with a headed effort goes over the bar, and that's probably the last highlight we're going to see. Right, let's do some changes. Pete's going to come off. We're going to do Prada. They recommend Carniero. We'll do Prada. Prada, that's his position. He should be playing there. Hulman's going to come off for Orlando Meyer. We're going to do Mawson as well for Kenneth Falster. Is this your debut? It's not your debut. You've come off the bench a few times. I probably played him in the last episode, didn't I? Well, a whole bunch of substitutes then have come onto the pitch, and we're still seeing nothing. Oh, hold on. We've got something else possibly taken place. A 0-0 draw's fine. A 0-0 draw gets us the win. It gets us through to the Europa League. It does not get us the coefficient points, which we kind of do want to be getting. Denton's in on goal here. Denton Barnabas should have scored. I mean, I know he's rubbish, but still, he should have scored that. Jack Leonard's corner then. We've got Leffer at the front post. It's towards the middle, obviously. It's normally how you take corners. And cleared. 21 shots. 5 on target. An XG of over 2. And it's 0-0. What's going on? Falster's throw to Leffer Gordon. Back to Falster. Ball on the ground to Denton. Jack Leonard. Denton once again. It's easily intercepted. And it looks like they're going to just try and pass their way around and maybe get something. Leonard's got it, though. Orlando, ball over the top. Barnabas has got this ball. Barnabas is at the post. Denton's come off the bench and arguably had the 2 best chances, and he's currently on a 6.4. Our team is just absolutely knackered. We've managed to draw the game 0-0. We are through to the Europa League proper, which is, I guess that's the objective. That's what we wanted to do. We should have won that. We should have won that 2 or 3-0. 3 injuries is not good. Prada's out for 6 to 7 days. Pete's out 1 to 3. Barisic is out for 1 to 3. Okay, none of them are proper injuries, so we're fine. And we've been given a bunch of money. Are we actually in the Europa League proper now? That's where we should be, right? Are we in the Europa League proper? How do we find out? We're just going to go forward, I think. It looks like Shamrock Rovers have made it in there, which is quite good for them. We picked up £2.93 million because we are in the Europa League. Who are we going to be playing? Who are we going to be playing in the Europa League? It's okay. Well, we're having the Southampton game on camera because that's the team that I support. We've got Juventus. I mean, there's winnable games and there's definitely games that we're going to lose. So much like the Europa Conference League, basically down to 16th place is potentially going to get through. So 1 to 8 gets automatic qualification, then 9 to 16 gets into a playoff. I think 17 to 24 or something like that possibly go into the Europa Conference League. No, so 9th down to 24th get into a knockout round, and I assume the loser of the knockout round goes to the Europa Conference. I don't know how this works. Doesn't really matter, does it? We'll find out how it works when we get there. So, what have we got? I think what we're going to do, we're going to ignore the PAOK game. I think we're going to do, next episode, we're not going to focus on the league, particularly because it's the preliminary phase. It doesn't really matter too much until we get to the business end. We may do Vitória Guimarães. I think that's how you're going to say it. We're obviously going to do that Southampton game, and we're going to do Villarreal. We're going to miss Dunstrada, and then we're going to do the final 3, which, let's face it, it's not easy, is it? We got two Portuguese teams. Fair enough. Yeah, Famalicão could be the name. Feyenoord and Juve. We're probably going to win one of those, I imagine. Maybe none of them. We're not quite done with this episode just yet. We are going to go forward to the other side of the Copenhagen game, partially because the transfer window shuts. I'm not expecting any more business, but just in case, also, we get to see how well we do against Copenhagen. So the transfer window has now closed, and we've done no more business. The eagle-eyed of you might have spotted in the top right-hand corner, we've drawn against Copenhagen, and I played a big, big risk. First of all, Mads Larsen scored. He very rarely plays. Occasionally, he's on the subs bench. We had to play him, basically, because we picked up an injury to Morten Tjulmund, and also a lot of our players that did start the match probably shouldn't have. For example, Babu and Barisic and Pete all were slightly injured or tired. And I went, this is Copenhagen. We've probably got to play the best players that we can get. I asked the assistant to pick, and they picked players like Ekwala starting ahead of Darlan, even though Darlan he was fit enough to play, but he was a little bit unfit. So they went, no, give him a rest. We've now got 14 days to rest our players up, because most of them aren't going off on international duty. I think I did some good management there. Anyway, that is going to do it then for this episode. Next episode, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to head off into Europe. It's going to be Vitória Guimarães, it's going to be Southampton, and it's going to be Villarreal in the next episode. We're going to play a few matches, obviously, off camera, in the episode as well. And I'm hoping, from next episode, 2 wins? Let's hope for 2 wins. I think Guimarães and Southampton, arguably, maybe those are the 2 wins. I don't know. Southampton might be really good. We're 9 years in the future. Who knows? Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll be back next time.